Hey, this is Walter Beasley, Department of Education, Child Nutrition Programs. We're in our office today. We have 3 of us here with our 6 feet and our mask and doing all those things right now. But we are experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties. Well, I'll take it back. Not a little bit. We're experiencing some new difficulties trying to get everything to work for everybody. And yep, I'm landing airplanes as well. I got my headset on here as we're trying to work through this. And having 3 people in a room makes it a little bit of a challenge. The new technology we have didn't work. So here we go. So we're going to talk about the new CNPWeb system. As probably many of you have heard, all of you have heard by now, we are leaving NEO over a phase-out period, phase-in period. The new system is a national company that has over 26 states already with them. They started out as a company called DIS, which was what we bought a couple of years ago for child adult care claims and the National Lunch Program Administrative Review process. And they were sold to another company called Collier, CTS, which is another company we looked at, both very good companies, and then they're now sold to another company called Link. So Link has CTS, DIS, and has another company called Titan. So it's kind of interesting, besides talking to people, is when we go to pay a bill, it has to have the right name in the top, like DIS. Otherwise, the Maine doesn't know what to do about it. So it's kind of interesting. The good thing is, every time they've been sold or merged, or what you want to call it, the technology has improved, and I'm really comfortable with the company we're working with now. They're doing some great things. Maine is on a fast track with them. We have put up the USDA food program in record time for any other state in the country or any other program they've put in. They're very good, very organized, and I hope you're gonna like it. So basically what I've heard is, if they can order from an LL Bean catalog, because we're from Maine, they should be good on this. There'll be some other little issues here and there, of course. The biggest thing you're gonna have to learn is terminology. Some of the terms have changed with the new system. They've gone more, well, not gone more, they have gone with USDA terms. Maine's always special, as we all know, because we're special kind of people. Just ask me, I'll tell you. So that's where we are now. So what's going to happen here is we are going to have everything in school year 22 on the new system, everything. It's going to be a phase-in. So right now we're only putting in the USDA food program. Right now, we're only putting in the USDA food programs because you have to do your annual order for school year 22. And Terry's going to go through the annual order with you and your applications, a few changes here and there, and then I'll make comments at the end as we have comments. If you have any questions, put them in the question box and we'll respond as time permits. We want to make sure we can get all the questions either documented or answered so everybody knows where we're going. So just kind of thinking ahead, we're getting a lot of call in the National Lunch Program. The claims process is not moving yet. It is only the USDA food. We'll talk about claims at another time. You will be doing your new annual packet in the new system, and you're doing your claims in the new system for school year 22. We're only doing USDA food program. Don't think about claims. Don't think of anything else. This is only the USDA food. So Terry's ready to go. So I think we're going to turn it over to Terry, and I'm going to sit back and watch the show.
Good morning. So what I'm going to do is talk about the new survey. Walter kind of touched base with you on that. What you're going to first do is you're going to go in and you're going to have to add your sponsor info sheet. Then you're going to have to enter in your delivery location sheet if you haven't done so. How these work is a sponsor sheet is going to look like, let's pick one right here. So this is your sponsor application sheet. You're going to fill out your name, your mailing address, and then you're going to hit submit. After that, you're going to do your delivery location sheet. This is what your delivery location sheet will be. When you're doing the contacts, you have to put 2 people, because what we're going to do in the future is we're going to set up a sends, which is going to be an emergency thing where you're going to have 2 people in case there's a recall on any USDA food. You're going to hit on your, let me back up, I'm sorry. So you're going to put your names in, and then you're going to put your storage, your dry, refrigerated, and frozen. When setting up your annual order, it's going to be done by district only. After that, it will become a monthly once the school year starts. We haven't set up the entitlement yet because everybody has to be in before any type of entitlement can be assigned to you. So this opens up on Friday, February 12th at noontime. It closes on February 22nd at noontime. If you do not get your order in, then you would have to wait until doing it monthly, where you go out and do surcharge, surplus. I'm going to show you what the survey is going to look like this year. It's designed by categories. An end product is known to be a USDA product, a brown box. A raw product is known to be an NOI product that goes to the warehouse. So let's take cheese, for instance. These are all the cheeses. What you're going to do is you're going to put in how many cases for the whole entire year. Remember, this is based district on only. On these months mean that they're coming into the warehouse, not being delivered to you. What it also does is it gives you the cases, per, what it's going to cost. On raw products, you're going to see that it's based on pounds. You're going to put pounds, total pound amounts in these boxes. These are your processors, Land O'Lakes Tasty Brands. People wanted Wild Mike's again. We put Wild Mike's again in, but the company is S.A. Pazza Pizza. So again, put total pounds in each of these boxes. Again, this is brown box. This is when it comes into the warehouse. You put total cases for your whole school district. This is an NOI product. You put pounds here. When it comes to DOD, you're going to go to fruits. You're going to scroll all the way to the very bottom, and you're going to see DOD converted to favors. This is cases, but this, for some reason, they could not get this to get fixed. So you're going to put a dollar amount in here for the total because it's based on $1. So if you put $2,000, you want $2,000 for your DOD fresh fruits and favors, you're going to put $2,000 here. Remember, DOD is underneath fruits for your category. Afterwards, when it becomes monthly, it's going to, when the truck pulls up in the back at PFG and the truck comes in and you put in on monthly 500 cases, I'm giving you an example of, for instance, beef products. You're going to take those cases and they can be dispersed every month to all your locations, which used to be called agencies. So monthly you'll go in, we haven't developed that yet, but monthly you'll go in, you'll take all what's showing up and you can dispense it to each of the schools and they get delivered there. There will be a calculation button up here that can calculate to tell you how much you've already spent if you want to go back in and change it. If you've already done your order, what you can do is you can still go in until the 22nd and decide if you want more cases or you want more pounds of NOI products. The end products again are brown box. The NOI is the raw box, pounds, based on pounds. And the DOD is your fresh fruits and vegetables. We have one location and one location delivery. As far as how the wording goes, we used to have districts that are now called sponsors. We used to have agencies are now called locations. There is no longer annual order. It's called USDA Food Annual Survey. So it's a survey for the whole entire year that you're spending to get your products for school year 2022. We have a pre-survey, which some people take, thank you. The extras are now going to be called surplus, and your PAL entitlement is going to be called entitlement. You're going to have to make sure that you have your ID and password, so you want to make sure you get those from Sarah or Pam. The FDA application must be filled out in an approved status. Locations must be entered in name of school where USDA items get delivered to. Are there any questions that you have?
This is David, and I just want to emphasize, Terry kind of hit on it. This is the district order. Each month for delivery, you'll choose different locations, but right now, you're entering one entitlement request for the entire district.
We've had a couple questions about locations, and I want to add some comments to that. So the locations is where the delivery occurs, and we've had some people that want to deliver all their product to their one location, dry, frozen, and refrigerated. They'll do one location, and all is good. If you want to have to deliver your food, your dry and refrigerated to your location, and your freezer go to a different location, then you do not fill out 2 location tabs. You only fill out 1 location tab. So the 1 location tab will do your dry and refrigerated. If your freezer goes to school B will include that on their location form. So the PAL entitlement is for the district. The reason for that is we have an agreement with your school district. We don't have an agreement with the school. So we give you all the entitlement PAL for the district. That'll allow the director to manage the entitlement much better than what the district has done in the past. I keep stopping and speaking because I keep in a screen on my says my microphone's muted. Then it says unmuted. So I really don't know if I'm muted or not at this point. So I'm going to keep talking unless someone tells me different. So that's going to be one of the big changes is the director will be able to manage what their products they get. They're going to manage who gets the product. Do not fill out 2 locations for the same school because we're going to kick one of them out, and we get to choose which one. So keep that in mind. You got to make sure you do that. Key thing to remember is you now call the sponsors of the district. The other thing that Terry's done for you is she has sent you an email that lists all the items that we are tentatively going to order. And then she's also listed per request what month we expect them to come into the warehouse. So the month we expect them to come in would mean the next month they will go out on the trucks to people. So you can start thinking now, when that order comes up, you should be all ready to go. You take your spreadsheet, your document, your notes, whatever you got, and just pluck those numbers into your annual survey, annual order. And you're gonna find it a lot easier. It's gonna be the same thing like Terry said. Just because you order 20 cases of ground beef, you're not gonna get it the month when it first comes in. You're still gonna pick each month that you want it and click it off. At the end of the school year, anything you didn't order, guess what, you're gonna get it. So that's the way the system's set up. I think you're gonna find it really a lot easier than the old system in Neo. And again, you'll start doing your orders next school year 22. Continue doing your orders in Neo right now. And kind of a sidebar I want to jump on real quick, because I know there's a lot of concerns about freezers and stock rooms and inventory, best used by dates and stuff like that. So let's start with best used by dates. You want to be aware of best used by dates. There is no expiration date of food. Food does not expire. It does not say, oh, it's midnight, I just expired, throw me out. That doesn't happen. So best used by dates is a date that manufacturers put on their products where it's the height of their quality, and after that they determine their quality starts to decrease, and they would like to have their product used at the highest quality point. It's not expiration date. Every time I think we're expired, I think we're dead. So they did not die. So moving on. So the other thing that if you have a lot of product in your freezer, you can't take any more. If you've got product in your storeroom, you can't take any more, then you need to contact us to see what we can do to help you. If it's already on your order form and it's ready, it's ordered to come to you this month, we have worked out with PFG that if you contact Stephanie at PFG, she'll remove it from your order as long as it's not already on a truck. Once it's on the truck, it's a done deal. There's no turning back. So if it's not on the truck and you call Stephanie and say, look, I really don't want that pallet of applesauce, they will not load it on the truck for your school. Once that happens, that simply says to me and to Terry, thank you very much, you just gave us product. We are not going to give you any credit. We're not giving you rebates. We're not going to give you another pallet of applesauce next year. All you're going to get from us is a thank you very much. And we will move that product to another school that can use that. I've talked to USDA, there's a process we have to go through. We have to offer to schools first, then we have to offer to other states second, and then from there I have other options, but it's just, I just can't give it to a food pantry or Good Shepherd. That just doesn't work. So that's that. If you have not already ordered it and it's for next month and you know you're not going to need it by the end of the year, then let Terry know ahead of time so we can start moving that to someone that maybe will use it now instead of letting me know in May, like, well, I really don't want that. So if you know you're not going to use it, then let me know now. The other thing I want to mention is NOI. There's a lot of NOI out there in the warehouse, a lot of it. That's going to move. We do reports to the feds. We can't have any more than 6 months supply at hand locally or in a manufactured warehouse. So I have to write explanations why it's there. They've agreed to give me a waiver. So I'm going to get on my soapbox. Get on my soapbox because I got waivers in the National Lunch Program, over 70 of them. I only have one from USDA Food, and that's to allow 2019 to determine that PAL. So I got to move that stuff. So when you order for your NOI this year, keep in mind, if you have some now, that is going to roll over until you tell me differently. So think about NOI. I'm going to turn this back over to Terry for questions right now. Terry?
Yep, that was one of the things that I was going to say about doing the NOI products, that go into K-12 and process the link to see how many pounds you have left. So when you're doing the processing, that you only put how many pounds that you need for the pounds this year, because you're going to already have pounds already in your bank.
You ready for questions?
Mhm.
Okay. How do I figure out how much I might use for next year? This is my first year, and this year in-person students were low, but next year could be the same or higher.
Chances are that you probably want to go into last year's, into NEO, and to look to see what they did for an annual order last year and kind of and use that as their template.
How and when do we know how much money and pounds we are able to get?
Do you mean entitlement?
That was the question.
Can you repeat the question, please?
How and when do we know how much money and pounds we are able to get?
So based on the same as last year, we have permission to use prior year meal counts so we can use the same PAL. So if the PAL per meal goes up, you might get a little bit more, but my suggestion would be to plan a flat PAL amount. There'll be amount on the annual order when you go in to tell you what to work from as well.
Is there a spreadsheet to help calculate the pounds when we place our orders?
Yes, it's underneath the child nutrition website, underneath NOI. I think you start at the left side and go over to programs. You slide it down to NOI processes, and then the processes will have the spreadsheets, and you can go in and put in, it'll calculate the pounds for you.
You only order the raw product if you are operating with NOI?
Correct. End product is USDA brown box.
NOI would be a raw product that's sent to another warehouse to be redistributed. NOI stands for net off invoice for people that don't use it. NOI is an optional program. You do not have to do it. The advantage to NOI is that when you order NOI, you got to order chicken, and that chicken's processed by Tyson, for example, and made into all kinds of different parts that you can get off your regular delivery, and you just get it at a discounted price. You don't have to wait for the USDA brown box truck.
Is approval for this new application required by legal agent?
Yes? No?
Not this, no.
No, the application for USDA food is not required legal agent approval. We're going to be changing the legal agent approval process in the new system overall. But you're going to go in and submit it, and then we approve the locations as well. You're going to get an error message this year because you weren't in the National Lunch Program this year, because it looks to see if you participate in the National Lunch Program, and then this year you're not. But that's an error message we are addressing here, but you can just keep moving on.
What is the deadline for putting in our order?
February 22nd at noon time.
There's a timeline on our webpage as well. If you go to Child Nutrition Programs, USDA Food, and scroll on there, there's a whole timeline there of the dates for this USDA food piece.
What if we want our managers to place the monthly orders themselves?
They can do that.
They can do that because they're a location. If they're a location, they can do that. The locations were set up basically the same as they were last year. We didn't add locations. We have to keep in mind what our contract says with North Center. We get told them X amount of drops, X amount of districts, and just to be fair to them, we don't want to be driving down a road and dropping off one case of macaroni either. So keep that in mind. They got to push something off the back of the truck that makes it worthwhile to go down there. If it becomes expensive for them, the contract does go for bid next year. I would anticipate higher costs. Right now, we got a really reasonable cost. We probably got the best in the Northeast region for sure.
What other tabs in CNPWeb do we need to be familiar with? Example, summary, entitlement, etc.
The other tabs, we're going to do a more detailed training on those at this point, but we wanted to make sure you could get your application in and get your orders in, and then we'll do a more in-depth training on the different tabs, because we'll also do a training on the ordering module when that comes about. But we really want to push the emphasis on the application, locations, and getting your order in. If you don't have your application in by the deadline, which I think is the 9th, then you will not be put in the pot of money that's dispersed across the state. So we've always called and worked with people to get that in. USDA, we had a management evaluation here a year ago, and one thing they said is, why are you doing that? And I said, I want to make sure everybody gets their product. And they says, that's not what your job is. Your job is to offer it to them. If they want it, they put an order in. If they don't put the order in, then you move on, because you have to meet the timeline. Because what happens is, I don't want to get a whole training of USDA food, but we tell us what we want to buy. You tell us you want 23 cases. We tell the feds we want 23 cases. Then they go out, put off a bid, and order it. So there's a whole long process before that product even gets to Maine. If we get demands less than a quarter of a truck, generally we don't get it, because I have to get at least a quarter of a truck. Terry has to go out and talk to other states because they want us to take a whole truck. They don't understand that Maine doesn't want a whole truck of catfish. We might take a quarter of a truck, but forget the whole truck.
Where on the DOE nutrition website is the login for CNPWeb?
That will be located on the online forms tab. It's not there yet because we want to make sure we get the training done first. So that'll be up right after this. And again, you can go to the USDA food program, and there's a whole little thing there. I don't know if I can show my screen or not. And I will try to show my screen while we go on to the next question.
Who do we reach out to change locations?
To myself, Terry.
When we go over the USDA order monthly and we select not to receive an item, are we going to get all of that at the end of the year regardless?
Yeah.
Down, mine's going down. So we'll work on both.
Hey, everybody. Walter and Terry seem to have lost some power, so we're going to take our complete power. We're going to take the rest of these questions and get them answered, and we will post them on the USDA foods page with the other CNP information. So since we are literally powerless here, I'm going to go and close up the webinar. If you do have questions, you can email Terry, David, Sarah, Walter, or the child.nutrition@maine.gov email, and those will get forwarded to the appropriate person. Hope you all have a great day.
Yeah.